Hey, what's going on? It's American Mike here. We're going to go over the TWID pretty quick, and then we're going to jump into a article from Paul Tassi talking about marathon, because I'm actually super interested in reading it. I saw it on Twitter a day or two ago, and I kind of wanted to get through it. So this week in Destiny 522.025, we've been busy dwelling into Ghost of the Deep. This week's Rather 9 dungeon. Have been able to complete it and explore Eternity Ultimatum. Use Arbalest to break those shields. Any hollow foil weapons you keep in your inventory when you jump into Edge of Fate. And speaking of jumps, watch how we jump right into this week's topics. So Ghost of the Nine, or Ghost of the Deep is in rotation. Last week to get the Slammer Adept, good sword, and Bad Wizards, good wizards. Ghost of the Deep and Rather Than 9. After 2 weeks of Spire the Watcher, now it's time for Ghost of the Deep to shine in Rather Than 9. This dungeon will test your team with new mechanics and challenges. So maybe jump directly into Ultimatum. Don't jump directly into Ultimatum, so you can get a proper understanding of everything. It is a little funky, I will say. Explorer is the more approachable game mode, while Eternity gets you more rewards, and it's the minimum for certain triumphs and quests. These weapons do look sexy. Super sexy. I like the way they look. They're great. This week will be followed by another where 2 new quests will be available along with increased rewards and weapon drops from enemies defeated when within the activity. As a reminder of how the Rather Than 9 rotation works now, from May 20th to June 3rd, Ghost of the Deep will be available. Week May 27th, increased rewards and weapon drops. From June 3rd to June 17th, Prophecy. June 10th, increased drops. 17 to 24, Rather Than 9 dungeons, all of them, sweet. And then week 17, increased weapon drop, cool. And then sweet. Oh, July 8th through July 15th, a Ludapalooza will begin. Increased currency rewards and weapon drops from enemies in all dungeons. Sweet, okay. Last week we saw Fire Teams had a great speed run par time in Ultimate Inspire the Watcher, as well as Guardians completing the activity solo and flawlessly. When seeing these awesome achievements, we thought it could be fun to issue a small challenge. You know how we feature movies, artists, fashions. Okay, cool. They're going to spotlight speedrunning community. I am in no way, shape, or form a part of that community, but those guys are dope, man. I love watching them. Right after we announced what we thought was a small and simple challenge, we got many questions about what's allowed, what's not, how the emblem would be rewarded and when, and many others. We want to come up with a very clear Bungie speedrun challenge format with set rules for everyone to follow that's fair and fun. We have started brainstorming on future opportunities after the Edge of Fate launches. Okay. Last chance to get the Slammer Adept. It's that time of year where weapons who have been around the longest step away and leave the room. A little bit of sunsetting is what it sounds like. But I mean, it's a good sword. Alright, I'm not going to read all this fucking nonsense. A wizard is never late, nor are they early. Festival of the Lost 2024 was the Year of the Wizard. The community came together and voted for themed wizard ornament sets. They're called by most of the community Good Wizard and Evil Wizard sets. As a result, the vote was clear. Evil warlocks and hunters, but good titans. And I mean, it looks good. I picked up the hunter one, so it was sweet. If you have checked the Eververse store, they're like 6K. I don't even think it says here, but they're about 6,000 Bright Dust for the full set. Notice these are 3 sets of runner-ups now available for Bright Dust. Haven't finished season challenges and silver. Yeah, so selling it to you. No issue list, dude. It's a lot, and honestly, it's a lot of the same crap from the last few weeks. So no issue list. Team Brig. Yeah, I mean Brigs were killing it. Brigs are pretty sweet. The tanks are dope. Movie of the week. Momentum Control is always a great time with damage increased all over the board. More weapons and abilities have some wiggle room to do amazing things. Oh, that's gonna be. Let's see. It's on Twitter. Jesus, dude. That's rough. Just making people look terrible. Another TWID is over. Let us know how those Ghosts of the Deep runs go this week and share your thoughts on which roles everyone should be pursuing. We're also looking for the best strategies to share with the community to adapt to the slightly modified encounter. If you happen to have a video breakdown, don't hesitate to tag us. Be careful around those moths. Destiny 2 community team. Alright, super short TWID. I don't really care too much about it this week. So, but I wanted to get into this. It's just over for Marathon. Alright, Paul Tassi, he's been writing about Destiny for ages. Some of his takes are super based, some of his takes are a little funky, but he's not a bad dude, man. I don't have anything terrible to say about him. I've tried to put this off for a while now, giving Marathon the benefit of the doubt in terms of fixing what ails it and maybe snagging an audience that's large enough to make it at least sustainable. I don't think it's going to be sustainable. But no, it's over. I can't dispute this anymore. This has probably always been true, but the events from the past week have cemented it. I will get into the live stream plagiarism and all that later, but this is a long, long list of what's gone wrong in the past, what's currently going wrong, and the future that does not look any brighter. Sweet. Let's see what he's got. The concept, the entire idea of this game was a mistake. Bungie has said that this came from a bunch of the team playing Tarkov a while ago. I heard among the group it was one good old boy in leadership who pushed to make this Bungie's biggest non-Destiny project. It was meant to be at the rebirth of a strong IP for the studio, now under Sony, which assumed it would produce another hit like this. The game attempts to split the difference between casual players who may be new to extraction shooters and existing hardcore extraction players that would like to pilfer from games like Tarkov. It will do neither. You know, I didn't get a chance to get into the alpha or whatever, but Tarkov players aren't going to leave Tarkov, and then new players aren't going to fucking like it, because if they might try it because it's Bungie. Like, I'm going to try it because, I love Destiny, but who knows? I don't think it's not going to lock me in, I don't believe. You are never going to make an extraction shooter that's casual enough, because the concept of being able to lose your loot, potentially your entire vault, if you go on bad runs, is exhausting as you try to give the game and genre a chance. In addition to that, players will be losing all their gear and all the upgrades they've gotten in a season no matter what. That may be how this genre functions, but it's not going to be attractive to many players that have not already played this genre. Yeah, that's 100% correct, man. Like, honestly, that's what kind of kept me away from Tarkov, because I feel like when it's like that, it feels like a job. It no longer feels like you're playing for fun, right? Or constant loot. It's just like resetting. Like, why do I want to reset, especially every 3 months? Like, maybe once a year, but every 3 months it's a little rough. Alright, it's probably even worse on the hardcore player end, and with Tarkov players scoffing at how easy Bungie has made Marathon. Everything from gear looting to time to kill, double revives in combat. I've seen almost no established extraction shooter players that are eager to jump over to Marathon for anything but a trial run based on what they've seen and played. You'll probably see a bunch of extraction shooter guys jump in on it for like the first couple weeks, but once they get a real good play on it, they'll maybe come back if Bungie can continue to deliver content, but I don't think it's going to happen. Alright, gameplay. And what we've seen and played is the next point. Neither are good. You're either you've been an outside observer watching gameplay trailers, Twitch streams, or you got into the closed alpha and played for yourself. The game feels uninspired. The shooting in Marathon is fine, but the experience doesn't compare to other titles from Bungie. which has produced some of the best feeling shooters of all time. I 100% agree. Like, I loved Halo. I love Destiny. And that's why it's one of the reasons why I continue to play Destiny is because the gunplay is amazing. It feels phenomenal. All right, it feels like a slower version of Apex Legends with maybe one team fight per round in between battles with UESC bots, which I do think can actually be fun in some instances. The idea that this is an extraction shooter that should use a hero model has not landed well at all. It seems woefully unbalanced with full invisibility and wall hacks and things that should just not be in this genre. Yeah, that kind of stuff. When I watched like Astacross play or Benny, a lot of these guys playing, there's specific guys that are they make your team overpowered, and if your team doesn't have them, you'll be at a big disadvantage. It destroys the idea of making a fully custom character like other games, something most players like. It feels like a solution where a problem does not exist, an experiment to make the game stand out, but it just made it worse. None of this has helped that the exact same time Marathon's Alpha was interrupted by Arc Raiders Alpha, a much more traditional extraction shooter and much better one by all accounts. It has more polish, more fun, more expected features found in extraction shooters. All you have to do is look at the fact that Arc Raiders player count went up every single day of its alpha, where Marathon's almost always went down. By the end, it was sub 20% of what it started with. Twitch viewers were even worse, going from 150k at launch as big streams tried it, crashing into 1 to 3k a few days later near the end, where big chunks of that might even be 1 or 2 Destiny streamers alone, like Astacross, honestly. Future plans price. It's not just how the game currently feels and plays, it's what it's apparently planning for the future. This was half the problem with the recent live stream, where sure the vibes were bad with the recent plagiarism from the start, but hearing game director Joe Ziegler and others talk about it, the constant refrain was, we're looking about that, we're thinking about that. The bulk of the talk was about minor balance changes, shield health, backpack spawn, stack size, faction differentiation. Asked to name the biggest issue they found coming out of the alpha, Ziggler rattled off a list of impossibly small issues. Hugely requested things like proximity chat and solos were hand waved away and relegated to some possible future plan. Dude, proximity chat needs to be in a game like this. You need to be, especially when it's like you and your team. Let's say like there's just one dude and he's trying to get out, or like you're one dude and you're just trying to get out, man. Maybe you could barter with a team around you, right? And be like, hey man, I got this. You guys, I'll leave it here. Let me jump. Let me get out of here. Let me extract. But not having proximity chat's huge. It's shitty. Solos. Dude, a lot of people play solo. I play solo all the time with basically every game I play. And so solos, it needs to have a solo. It's absolutely insane that Bungie has not taken to heart the feedback about how the game feels to play solo. It feels like the only way to play Marathon is stacked with friends on comms, as playing with randoms is at best a coin flip, whether it's awful or fine. Going in solo and skulking around like a rat, avoiding all combat is boring. Because the game genre ignores solos, that means you need to convince 2 friends to buy it, likely at an upcoming $40 price point. It should be fucking free to play, Bungie. It is too late in development to switch to a free to play. Not that this genre is built for that anyway, but painfully few people have played this game and thought it was worth the price. Without a delay at launch, it will have 2 more heroes, some new weapons and gear, and 1 to 2 more maps. That's it. It's a tiny amount of content for the price. On top of the game that, as of yet, not very fun for most players. Yeah, this game needs to be free to play. Even make it $20, man. Like, make the game $20. Who gives a shit? Make it $20, dude. It's all good. 40, it's too much. It's like that one asshole who says the game's $80 and you can make it happen. No, Just make it fucking $20, dude. Plagiarism. Now we arrive at massive controversy of art theft. The revelation that a supposed ex-Bungie artist outright stole a large amount of art from Annie Real, an artist with a portfolio extremely similar to Marathon vibes. And we're not talking inspired by. These pieces of art are one-for-one rips to the point where Bungie had to audit the entire game to see how many of these there might be. During the live stream, they couldn't even show the game because it was being torn apart internally for the process. Yeah, this is fucking crazy, and it's something that Bungie has been doing. I mean, technically, since what, the fucking Red War? Dude. Like, I'm all for, like, inspired by shit, but, like, there's so much shit that the Bungie are just stealing. There's not a fucking... There's creative people there, man. I know there has to be, because if the game didn't have some sort of creativity, like, I would have been sick of Destiny a long time ago. But this shit happens way too often. Within a matter of hours, as this began to spread virally, Bungie issued a statement saying it was a former Bungie artist who included the decal in a texture sheet that ultimately went into the game. The issue was supposedly unknown by the existing art team, but obviously many, many questions have been risen about all of this. Bungie continues to investigate. Like, the only issue with, like, this, I mean, yeah, it's exact, but, like, fuck, dude. God, man. Come on, Bungie. You can change this up enough to... I mean, it's 2 V's, dude. You can change it up to make it your own. Alright, narrative spread as players realized that a number of Bungie artists, including art director Joseph Cross, followed Andy Real for years. It's likely true that Marathon's overall style came from any number of sources from years over decades past, though the fact that along with the direct lifting from Anti-Real exploded into theorizing that this was a larger problem on my end too for a time. But even if the entire soul of Marathon wasn't taken from one artist, art director Joe Cross and members of the team allowed this massive portfolio of plagiarism to make it through from being solely allegedly 5 years ago to being plastered all over the current build of the game. Mass incompetence. And that's what Bungie's kind of shown for years now. This has slit the throat of Marathon. The one thing Marathon had going for it was a unique art style, cool vibes, and now it would be impossible to bring that up without plagiarism being referenced. Memes were instantly born during the apology portion of the live stream, including plagiarism will make me God and a renaming of Marathon to Art Raiders. That was on as across the stream. It was fucking hilarious. You gotta feel for those guys, man. I mean, but hey, it is what it is, man. There's no escaping this. Not the vibes were good before, but they were dismal. But they are dismal now, with Marathon a laughing stock after this happening, or even worse, outright anger that this was allowed to take place in the game, and players refusing to play and support the game as a result. A delay. Marathon will not fundamentally change enough to be attractive to most players. Community sentiment will not change enough to turn things around on that end. A delay does not significantly change any of this, but it may be the only option. It would be impressively stupid to actually release this game in 4 months, given both the recent events and that we're only seeing a small amount of new content and some balance. They need to delay this game indefinitely, is what they need to do. It's not good enough. Alright, a delay is the only real option, but I don't think it can change enough to be useful. It will create distance from the current awfulness, but I have seen nothing to indicate that this is going to be some transformative rebirth. The core concept of a hero shooter extraction game will not change. It will not erase the plagiarism that happened. Unavoidable failure. I've previously said the Marathon will not be Concord 2.0. While I still technically believe that, it's more just a matter of how badly this will fail, not whether it will fail at all, or I do not expect it to get 700 concurrent Steam players like Concord, nor be scrapping in 2 weeks by Sony, but it will not do well. That is set in stone right now, barring some sort of miracle airdrop of players and goodwill from the heavens. Alright, let's yeah, I mean, let's be fucking real. Alright? Great article by Paul Tassi. Good job, dude. Let's be real. This game's not gonna fucking live. It's not gonna survive. I don't see it surviving. If you think that this game's gonna survive with all of the shit that's going on, then it's cope, man. It's hard copium. Of course, it sucks to see one of your favorite game studios have a massive failure like this. But Bungie's been failing with Destiny for years, and Destiny is, but it makes like those bounce backs, right? It comes out with new content, a bunch of people play it, it's great, and then it fails again. New content, play it, great, fails again, all the fucking time. So, I think Marathon needs to be just, honestly, they need to fucking revamp the entire game. Don't release it, not for another year, and tell your community, Bungie need to tell your community that you're sorry, and you're going to change the way that this game plays, feels, looks, and it's going to be a completely different game than what you expected to put out. Because if you don't do that, this game's going to be dead on arrival. Because as of right now, it's already dead. So until the next one, peace.